Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into the questions so that we do not have so many questions left behind at the end of the lesson. As you know, the slower we are, the more questions will leave undone. All right. So for the first part, I am going to go a little bit fast. It's just multiple choice. We might want to spend a little bit more time on the open-ended. So because multiple choice, I can ask you guys what the answer is, and you can like quickly tell me, right? You can put it in the chat so I can see like Lebron is already participating. Thank you, Lebron. How about Zuchi, Chloe? The rest of you, just put in your answers. Let me have a look. Maybe I'm going to keep only. All right. Okay. Thanks. So yeah, make sure your answers are coming in. So I'm looking at the answers. And Chloe and Kirana, you have made a mistake. So please have a look at your answer again. It'll be great if I call your name and then you realize you made a mistake and then you look at it again. Okay. If you realize your mistake, you may be able to change your answer and put a new answer on the screen. The rest of you so far, I haven't called your name, means you're correct. All right. So this is a very simple, straightforward question that you must know how to do from the periodic table, right? In a periodic table, you got an element. Okay, if I zoom it out, it is like this. There are two numbers. They're just asking you, firstly, you need to know what this big number and small number refers to. They have a name. Okay? And if I draw it out, this is the nucleus. And whatever is contained within the nucleus is the mass number. Because that's where the most of the mass is held, like it's heavy weight. Because the light ones, which are the electrons, let me show you the light ones, which are the electrons. Okay, they are essentially like clouds. How many of you know what clouds look like when you look up the sky? It looks very fluffy, airy, right? Do you think they're very light? Have you seen your aeroplane fly through the cloud? Okay, they're very fluffy. They're actually made up of water or made up of air. Are they solid, liquid, or gas? What state are they in clouds? Solid, liquid, or gas? This is from my school. So let's see if you still remember. Cloud, is it solid, liquid, or gas? Cloud. Come, type it in. This is a trivia question. Avin is asking liquid question mark, not sure. Liquid. Chloe is saying liquid. Confirm. Okay. Cloud, is it gas, liquid, or solid? Simple. Very good. Very good. Richie is saying mixed. Okay, it's not mixed. It's condensed water vapor. Remember, water vapor goes up from the sea, and then water vapor you cannot see. But if you can see cloud, that means cannot be water vapor. It has condensed. Water you can see, water vapor you cannot see. Gas you cannot see, liquid you can see. So can you see cloud or not? That's the answer. Can you see cloud or cannot see cloud? That's all. If you cannot see cloud, that's water vapor. You can see cloud, then that's water. It's condensed water. Little tiny water droplets forming a big lump of water. And then when it gets too big to hold itself, it pours down as water. The same thing. Okay, it's just like a pail of water holding together in the sky. Okay. Similarly, electron. Why do we talk about clouds? Electrons actually float around the nucleus. They are very light. How light are they? They are about 1, okay, over what? What's the number? So 1 over 2000. The exact number is not important now. 1 over 2000 times the mass of the proton or the neutron. So neutron has mass 1, proton has mass 1. So I put proton, neutron, electron. All right. Imagine they're 2000 times lighter. They are very light. So they are floating around. So all the everything that is included inside the center, which in the nucleus, are what? Protons and neutrons. So they form the bulk of the mass. That's why it's called the mass number. Very easy to remember because they are the heavy ones. The light ones are floating around and they are the electrons. So they don't have much mass. So you don't even need to consider their mass. It's just like your hair. If you stand on the weighing machine, okay, your mass will show 45 kg, let's say. And then you go and cut your hair for those girls and boys who cut their hair. And then next day, you tell your mommy, I think I'm lighter today. I'm going to be 44 kg. But you stand on the weighing machine and it's still 45 kg. What does that mean? What does that mean? Even though you cut your hair, what does that mean? That means the hair does not that you have on your hand, your body, and your face and your legs. If you cut off your leg or your hand, it might be a different story, right? But if you cut your hair, yeah, it is relatively does not impact your weight. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Lebron. And same. So now you guys know roughly how to think about the electrons. The electrons also don't impact the total mass. Only the protons and the neutrons impact. Okay. Right. Andrea, thanks for your number. It's 1840, right? So Andrea wants me to change this number 2000 to 1840. If you guys can remember 1840, even better. Okay, the exact difference between neutrons and protons and the electron mass is about 1 over 1840. Okay, so that's to be more exact. Okay, so where are we going with this? What are these numbers then? So if the atomic number equals to the number of protons, which is equal to the number of electrons, so that means equal to 5. And mass number is equal to number of protons plus neutrons, which means protons already I have 5 plus question mark equals to 11. So what's the question mark? What's the question mark? Answer is 7, right? 7. So neutron will be 7. And electron, proton will be 5. So you have to choose one of the options A, B, C, D. That's it. So the boron has 5 electrons, 7 neutrons, 11 protons, or 11 electrons. Ah, 5 plus 9 equal 12. So that's why it's wrong, right? Because then some of you put B. So that's why you see, even mathematically, you have to change it. So it's 6, right? So it has 6 neutron, not 7. That's why B is wrong. It should be 6. And this should be 5. And this should be 5. And therefore, A is the only correct one. Understood? All right, let's move on. How many types of elements are present in ethanoic acid? Elements, it means you go to the periodic table, you will see C, you'll see H, and you'll see O. There's only C, and then there's H, and then there's O, right? Anything else you see? Anything new? Is there anything that's CO in the periodic table? You may say, sure, but CO is also one element. I found it on the periodic table. That one, is it CO or CO? Which is correct? 1 or 2? Do you see in the periodic table CO or CO? The first or the second? Second. What's the difference? See, many of capitalization matters, my friends. If it's a capital C, is carbon. If it's C and O, is cobalt. If it's C and O, what is the first one called? How many of you can type for me inside your chat? See who's the first one. Tell me the name of the first one I wrote. Name me the first one I wrote. Second one is cobalt. I give you the answer, okay? Cobalt. Okay, I give you the answer. First one, what is the answer? Who can type for me first? Yes, very good. Unlock. Okay, Chloe is like, is it carbon monoxide or something? Still thinking. Must be sure, guys. You guys from primary school, you've been doing science since primary 3, you know. You talk about carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, all kinds of gases. And then you come to Sec 1, you still like, I think, and then your question is like, I think it's carbon monoxide or something, or is it carbon monoxide? You're asking me, why must I answer? I'm already so old. I'm not even going to take a Sec 1 exam. Okay, you guys have to be sure. So you decide. Okay, if CO is carbon monoxide, then what is carbon dioxide? How many of you can write it down? Carbon dioxide. All right. Unlock, Chloe, correct. Lebron, correct. Yeah. Though you cannot write the 2 below, it makes a difference. And in the exam, don't go and write this. I know because now we are on the computer, we are writing this, okay? Zichi, I have to correct you. You cannot write this CO2. You cannot write small letter because the moment you put small letter, refers to something else already. Understand, Zichi? Please say yes, Zichi. Zichi, is it? I have to call it Zichi, right? Not Zichi. Zichi. So in Chinese, your pronunciation for those names would be Zichi, right? Correct? Am I right? Yeah, thanks. Okay, CO2. Zichi. Okay. So please, some of you are like very knowledgeable. Some of you are like still struggling. You have to become very knowledgeable because you're all classmates, not in the same school, but in the same country. You're going to go and do the same O level at the end of the 4 years or 5 years, right? Then this knowledge, it has to be the same. Just like when you're in PSLE, you cannot say I don't want to know. Then you lag behind. Then you are as good as a primary 6 student. Somebody's already in Sec 1, you're still in the primary 6. All right. So you guys have to know. I just talked about it, that the capitalization matters. So CO2. So therefore, when you see the CO in this question, is this one element? No, it's a combination of 2 elements to make carbon monoxide. Unless it was CO, then it's different story. Then this is an element. So please take note whether they are capital or small letters. When you take a look at periodic table, you actually see it. Okay, C is CO is O. CO will be put as C, then small o. Okay, Mg cannot be M. Magnesium is not Mg like that. It is Mg, right? Okay, and so on. Okay, I guess I made my point already. Please take note of what capitalization means. So now how many elements are there? There are only 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay, so after talking so much, you know how many there are, right? I see a hydrogen and I see oxygen. I don't see anything else. Unless there is a small letter, then you start, the small letter must attach to itself to the big letter, right? Say for example, this one, Na, like this is considered one or one together, something like that. It's not N and A, right? It's Na together. So the small alphabet will make it together. Yes, very good. As we move from left to right of the periodic table, the elements become, okay. So this is a very quick way of writing periodic table, right? Then I can go. So what are the top referring to? Group. The side refer to period. So they say as we move from left to the right, until we reach, how many groups are there? How many groups are there? Can you write down for me? I only started 1, 2, 3. Suchi says 18. Anybody else? Are there 18? Lebron says 18 also. Very good. So many groups. So as we move to the right, all these are metals, right? As we move across, they become non-metals. Okay, so all the metals are usually put in the left side, right? As we go across, they become non-metallic. Not acid, not reactive, but whether they are metallic or non-metallic. Okay, to the left, to the right. Sometimes they may change the question and say, do they become bigger or smaller? Does the size of the atom become bigger or smaller? How many of you know this one also? As we go from left to the right, do you think the atom size become bigger or smaller? You can look at your periodic table and you look at the mass number, you can look at the electron number because the atomic number, remember, just now we do boron, we do 11.5, sorry, not BOB, and 11.5 like that. Then the next one will be 12, then 6, then the next one will be 7, okay, and so on. So it's actually growing bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So it's actually bigger because there are more and more electrons, more and more protons to hold in the atom. Okay, very good. So what's the answer here? Number 3. Just some of you go and type